Hi, um, this is impromptu, and I don't have a script, and I don't have a plan. I just wanted to share a couple of things about the value of creativity. Over the past week, I've spent time at home in Zimbabwe and here in Cape Town for the Cape Town Art Fair, which I've never been to but has always been a dream of mine. And I think in the smallest ways, it is more beneficial than we know to escape our normal environment, even if it's like at a friend's house. Let's just say you have a friend who constantly has plants and loves mood lighting and keeps jazz music on, and you work in a pretty high stress environment. Changing your environment to something that's more calming is immediately going to introduce new ideas. It's going to lower your cortisol levels, it's going to slow your breathing, and you're going to be able to think more clearly than we do typically when we're stressed. And with somebody I've had high stress jobs like that, and I can honestly say that creating my environment and curating my environment in a way where when I come home, I know that I'm returning to a safe place. And if home's not the safe place, there are others to be found. People are safe places, clothes are safe places, jewelry is safe, music is such a safe place. And if you can find a way to make those spaces a pivotal part of how you live, it changes everything. Coming here, I haven't been to Cape Town in a very long time, since I was a teenager, and coming back was really nice. I got to meet the most wonderful creatives from around the world, interact with artists from around the world, see people dressed in colorful clothes and massive hats and cool high heels and beautiful fabrics and, designed fans, and people everywhere were in a space of inspiration and in a space of expression. And when we're in those spaces, we tend to be at our best, and we tend to be most aligned with ourselves. And in a conversation I had with a friend of mine, a dear, dear friend, this weekend, we were talking about the value of feeling safe to be yourself. And that's one of the things I'm working on big time this 2025, and honestly in all the years to come, because it's definitely non-linear. But being able to find ways, if we can find ways to introduce as much creativity and fresh environments and new ideas into our world as possible, if we're stuck in this space of routine and tradition, the voice of creativity, the voice of the universe, the voice of God can't speak through you, or if it does, it's muffled by what you've always known. So it's always, I believe, of immense value to, in whatever way you can, and in whatever way that means to you, stray from your old environment, get a little lost. There's a wonderful practice, and I'll put the name of it because I can't remember. There's a beautiful practice that I was introduced to in college, where you take a map of a city you've never been to. Let's just say I've never been to Brazil. I've never been to Rio. If I take a map of Rio and a map of Harare, and let's just say the map of Rio, for the sake of this example, is on transfer paper, and I take the map of Rio and superimpose it onto the map of Harare, and I use the map of Rio to navigate my home city. And if anyone wants to make this a thing where we do a map day or whatever, comment, DM me, because that would be so cool. We could totally make that happen. But so all that does is reintroduce you to an environment in a different way, right? You're going down roads that, you'll get stuck, and there'll be a road in Rio that doesn't exist in Harare, or there'll be, a street that you gotta cross this way, but in Harare you have to cross it the other way, or you can't cross it all because it's a highway, or there's ways to go about, and that's just one example, there's ways to go about reintroducing yourself to your own environment that introduce you to new things, and you see it with fresh eyes. And seeing your own home with fresh eyes is a beautiful experience. I was fortunate enough to come back home from college in 2022, I want to say. And when I did that, make a concerted effort to get to know my city, because in high school it wasn't really a place that I knew. It was a place I lived and went to school, I came home, hung out with friends, came home. But Harare wasn't a place I knew intimately, and it still isn't. And many of the cities I've lived in, I would say, even visited, I can't know them intimately because I really need to spend time knowing its people, knowing its culture, its languages, let's just, in terms of travel, or when I'm home, it's the same. As you know, I'm a diasporan and I've spent time in the US and time in Zimbabwe, so I'm between these worlds. And the experience of getting to know your city in a real way, in an honest way, and not shying from its dark corners can open you up to a whole new world. And that's what it did for me. And I give full credit to the people who brought me out of my shell and brought me out of the burbs to come to know the place that I love in the way that it deserves to be known. And in doing so, I got to know myself in a way that was transformative, beyond transformative. You're introduced to people you never would have met otherwise, ventures to support that you didn't know existed, and now need your support, and you can share them with others, and you can bring more people into the fold and say, hey, I went to this thing, and I know we don't really do this much, but I think we should try it. The people that you're around as well, the people that we're around are one of the biggest influences in the way we see our world. And if we all are kind of tending to see the same things, if we're all tending to listen to the same music, if we all watch the same shows, we all read the same books, the growth is limited, there's a line. And it's the same thing that I would say about growing up in small towns. And I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, shout out to Jess. There is a line where people can see themselves living up to a certain potential, but seeing beyond that is really hard. If you can get to a place where you can jump up over the wall, so to speak, I hope you can see my hands, and see like, oh my God, those guys over there, they wear blue shoes. I wonder why they wear blue shoes. Oh my gosh, I looked over the wall and I saw that they play the guitar, but everyone plays with their left hand. I wonder why that happens. And these are extraneous examples. But all this to say, the environment is so important. Getting out of it as much as we can, in whatever way that means, is so important. And exposing ourselves as much as possible to the things that we never knew existed until we find them, until we go looking, until we say, hey chat, show me something new. What is there to learn? What is there to explore? What is there to fear? What is there to question? We allow ourselves to ask questions. We allow ourselves to formulate questions differently, to reevaluate the way we see ourselves, the way we see the world, introduce ourselves to new things, because the beautiful thing about fear, is it's a protective, but it's also a harbinger of curiosity. And when we can walk with our fear into a place of discomfort. And when we can walk with our fear through a place of discomfort, we can arrive on the other side of whatever fire we've just walked through and see that while we may have been burned, we also learned so much. I'm a little singed, sure, but I'm here on this side, scorched earth and all, and there's so much to see. I have to go to the airport right now. I'm going back to the States, so stay well, everybody. I love that I think that's a beautiful thing about creativity and about access to the kind of resources that I have. For example, I literally film, and I don't know if any of you know this, with my phone. And yes, I had my microphone before, but it's in my suitcase, and I'm not about to unpack that, so I said, my AirPods are in. Sounds good enough. We can share some things, we can talk to some people, and I hope that you guys can share ideas too in the comments and talk to your friends, or share this video with your friends and just say, like, what can we do more? What are we not doing? What are we not seeing? What corners of the world can we explore? Corners of our city, what corners of our homes? going to sit in a different place in your house than you normally do. And I mean, it can be the most ridiculous thing. Like you put the chair that you normally sit in to eat breakfast on the other side of the table. You brush your teeth with your left hand instead of your right, or your right instead of your left. You play your guitar with one less string than normal. You wear your t-shirt inside out. The smallest things can make a big difference, because you can be surprised by the smallest of things. You can delight in minutia, and delighting in minutia is a gift, and I intend to take that gift with me. And I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you. But it's transformative to see a world of creation. It's transformative to see a world of expression. It's transformative to see a world of just built up of people who are each individual, but also part of communities and have their own things to bring to the table. Everybody's got a thing to bring to the table. And seeing that and being a part of it, just by being there, makes you a part of that community too, and makes you, whether, you know, it makes us all feel like we can start something, or we can talk to somebody, or we can collaborate with this person, or oh, I saw this and now I feel like, oh, I had this idea once, or oh my god, when I was a kid I used to do that, and but this artist has done it, and they're, you know, they're in a big space, and I never knew that, you know, 20 years ago when I was making my work, when I was painting, you know, and decided to take a different path, I can always come back. The space of creation is always open to you, always open to you. It does not leave you. Creation is multifaceted, and it's complex, and it's occasionally a tug of war. The space in which we're able to occupy when we are our most creative self, or even when we're just our average creative self, or our less creative self, you know, on any given day, it's still there. It's still accessible. It's always accessible. So I'll leave you with that. I know I said I was going to leave you with that like 2 minutes ago, but I'm leaving you with this now. So have a lovely day. If you're here with me right now and you haven't yet today, just give me a smile. It doesn't have to be a big one. It can be like a, that's fine. But raising your cheeks like this, even if you don't feel it, tells your brain, oh, we're doing okay. And it helps it calm a little bit. I need a big smile today to get to this airport, to get on this plane, to go back, you know. Leaving home is hard. Leaving spaces where you feel most like yourself is hard. There's that too. That's a real part of it. When you leave the spaces, there is a loss. There is something to mourn, but there's also so much to celebrate. Yo, the journaling I'm gonna do on the plane, bro. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. And if you're not a journaler, I love using the voice notes app on my phone, or having a friend record me say something when we're having a conversation. I say, whoa, hey, we gotta record this. This could be something. As you know, I love making videos. Try them out. See what's out there. You know, look under the carpets. Well, don't, because if you look under, never mind. Don't look under the carpets. Don't look under the carpets. But look in the crevices of a world that you think could be potentially exciting and expansive, and move the needle forward to where, just a little closer to where you want to be. 1%, 2%. If the needle's moving, you're doing the right thing. Okay. Bye, good people.